that was a lovely review as we hear it. I just would like to know who's with this Apple's iPhone. There's one person. Can you please identify yourself, because I was trying to get your name. Ravi Garu. I was like wondering who's this with Apple, because usually your name comes out, or there's another person who was supposed to join. So just for security and other issues, I was trying to. No issues, no problem. So I think V.Keerthy will be back in a while, but before that, yes, that I agree. Excellent review. We do have some points on mind. If there are any questions or similar books that some of you would have read, maybe you can share. Yes, V.Keerthy, the forum is for interaction. So I would request the members to open up with their points. Please unmute yourselves, whoever wish to speak. All of you seem to be sending messages first. Nobody. Yeah. Sriram Garu, Chappan.
No, you should read the Obama book also. No.
Yeah, actually.
Another book on Obama.
Yeah, I'm reading A Promised Land right now by Barack Obama. So it complements well with this book. Like in this book, the last part, it narrates the whole run of the presidency, like the first time and the second time. It it feels like a nice commentary on the elections. And then when you open the Promised Land by Mr. Obama, it's that book is like all his presidency years only, not before or not after. So it's a nice way to summarize how he contended with major issues in the book and everything.
How many books has she written? Is this the only book, or?
She has written only one book, I think. I think there's another one.
Okay.
There's only two. I think we have two books. One by Obama and another by Michelle.
Oh, Michelle and Obama. Yeah. My question was, is this the only book that she has written, or are there any other books or anything?
There is another one, I guess, but I'm not sure about the title. I did not do my research.
Another one, I remember that.
Yeah.
So what's the book that you were mentioning, Sriram Garu? What is the name of the book? Barack Obama's?
I think I have it in my hospital. It's an old book read by somebody and given to me.
Okay.
The Michelle one, I bought it. It's brand new.
Okay.
Kept it
Light We Carry, it seems like, it was published in 2022. Michelle Obama.
Oh, that is another book?
That is the other one. That is the second.
When was this published, Becoming?
2018. Right after the presidency. It was until 2017, they were the POTUS and Lotus. So after that, 2018, she published this book. And very recently, Mr. Obama published his book. After Trump was elected, after the pandemic.
Yeah, okay. Nice. Yeah, there are pretty couple of places where I could get to see her videos and the way in which she speaks and all that. I am very much in tune with what you're saying, V.Keerthy. I think she's quite authentic about what she is, and basically the book itself, it propagates how it is to be authentic in oneself. And perhaps that's how her learning is. Because you mentioned that, is this okay for me, or is this that kind of an imposter syndrome that people have? Even from school. School is one thing. Another thing is even after they grow up as women, also. All these things, I think she must have covered quite well.
Yeah, that's true. Even as a mother, when she was, she had little kids when she was in the as the first lady of the US. So that's a big thing to handle when, the kids shouldn't get overwhelmed with the media and all the attention they are getting. So
absolutely. No, and the way in which they have protected their children in terms of privacy and their own rights, because eventually when they grow up and they look back, there should not be an occasion where they would say why did this happen, or why did you put us, because
Did she say anything about father?
sorry,
Her opinion on her father and other things?
I think she did, right? She shared her
she
opinion
did.
about her father and all that. She
About
mentioned
the black education, ragging, such kind of things. Did she face anything like that?
Not ragging, but she had that. She always had
Discrimination.
been a straight A student. Her school, they had a lot of. I mean, they lived in south side of Chicago, where it's a predominantly black neighborhood. So she did not face that when she was there. But she was there in a all-white college, where her friend, she distanced herself from her because she didn't want to be seen with a black woman. So she chose a different group. So she was like, she was shocked in the beginning, but she took it as a lesson. Like, this is my
reality, more or less. True. I mean, that's a serious learning. I guess social behavior, as such, again, when it comes to things like discretion, I guess is a very relevant topic here. Definitely,
Yes.
it is an example of the same thing. Because they say when people are individual, they behave in one way. When they are in group, they change. That is
Yes.
the norm. That is basically the very base, the very core principle on which group dynamics is taught. So it is for everyone. It is a natural phenomenon. However, this is a little extreme and for a very not a good cause. So
Yes.
yeah.
But for when she talks about that being in a white college, she feels a lot of, even in Princeton, her brother goes to Princeton, and she feels that it looks like an all white place and I don't belong here. She tells that it is better if I go to Harvard, where there are a lot of black people. So that kind of a community feeling, they wanted it even when they are born and brought up in this country. If I am feeling that way, and if I feel that way about my kids being somewhere in a predominantly white neighborhood, that's a different thing. But there is one point where she takes a trip with Obama to Kenya, and she feels different even there, having she tells that my origins are here, my ancestors are from here, but even then I feel like another, even in this country and even in the country where I was born. So this kind of I don't have roots anywhere, I don't have a feeling of belonging anywhere. So I felt really bad about I it made me feel really bad. If I come to India, I don't feel that way. I feel like it's my own place and I own the area. But to have that sense of having no roots, uprooted from everywhere and having no place to call yourself, it's kind of a pitiable thing. So that made me feel really bad for all those people who feel that way out there.
It just kept me
Okay, shall I recommend you one small book? Very good book. The book called The Man by Irving Wallace.
Irving Wallace.
Irving Wallace.
Okay.
Erwin.
Erwin. Okay.
Irving Wallace. The Man, in those days, the fellow has written a book on a Negro becoming Prime Minister of the President of USA.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Is this a recent book or an old book, Andy?
Old one.
Old
one. It's like a futuristic book.
Yeah, it's futuristic, and there's everything about the discrimination. Everything has been discussed at length.
Okay.
Such a nice book. About 400 pages, something like that.
Sure. Yeah.
The Man.
When she was talking about Keerthy, when you were talking about the Kenya incident, what was coming to my mind is what could be a particular a place or a situation where she had felt like that, or was it consistent? Many places where she felt like that in Kenya.
No, actually, when she was really excited for this trip, they went to Bama, to Nairobi, and like she felt like I'll be immediately feeling at home because everyone is like me and nobody is going to discriminate me based on my color, skin color, or anything.
Yeah.
But then she felt like she is not born and raised there, so she would definitely experience that kind of a cultural disconnect. So when she was traveling with Mr. Obama, she felt like, no, this place I really cannot. It's not like the people discriminated against her, but obviously they would be, their behavior would be very different to, yeah. So she felt that, no, I may not be able to call this my home. This, I don't feel like I belong here. So I feel different here also, that it's not like someone else discriminated against her or something, but she did not feel like she belonged.
She couldn't connect
So
to the roots and all. So I think, I assume that she must have shifted to the US very long, but maybe even before she was
yeah,
born.
she was like, their
She,
her ancestry is like, they were they descended from the slaves in the south, who worked on plantations. So the grandfather, her grandfather, on her father's side, he was a son of the slaves who worked in the plantations, and he wanted a college education when he was little, but he couldn't get that. She describes her grandpa really well, like he was grumpy and all that, because he couldn't realize his dreams. But all his kids, they got good education, and they made well. I mean, he worked as a postmaster, I guess, eventually. But he couldn't get the college education he wanted, but he provided that for his kids. But even then, those unrealized dreams made him grumpy and always very,
disgruntled kind of.
snarling. Yeah. He was always a disgruntled young old man.
Yeah.
He used to sit and always order her grandma and all that. So she was very little. She used to talk back to him. She used to ask him, "Why are you so angry with grandma all the time?" All that. So nobody discouraged her from doing that. Uh, she thanks her parents for not discouraging her from all that. Don't talk like that to elders or something like that. They never told her.
Yeah.
They let her be. So that's one thing she says.
That's nice.
They never discouraged me from being talking what I wanted to talk. So
yeah, that's something that I guess she also raised her children with the way they're not exactly like talking back, but maybe to express their ideas, a free space.
yes, free,
Kind of
yeah,
a thing,
yeah.
wherein they are not judged or stopped.
Yes.
Yeah.
In our culture, talking back takes very little things, like, just saying something we feel amounts to talking back. But as now the things are changing, but I'm glad she did not have to curb her feelings because of all that.
You're absolutely right. See, I think there are different people in different households. You're right in mentioning that in Indian culture. I don't know. Sometimes I also feel that there is a slight partiality about this between men and women also. Somewhere
that is
when
true.
women ask questions and women have this kind of a thing in their mind, it's not very nicely looked upon. So that is a thing that luckily in my house, it was nice, open environment where I was taught to be gentle about being angry.
Yes.
You can be angry, but then there is a way of expressing it. And, if you don't want to be disrespected, I think you should understand vice versa is true. Those kind of things were taught somewhere down the line when I was in my teens. However, I don't see that even with some of the close relatives that I have, when I just try to come with some interesting debate, especially with an elderly person who's there in the WhatsApp group, they get offended. They are not open for a debate as well. I mean,
that is true.
it's an open thing. When you don't want to listen to somebody else, then you don't have the right to speak and give your dictates to them.
That is
So
true.
it's as simple as that. That's how some of them
This
are.
has been like, a point of contention in my home. Like, I was molded from the very beginning to be very polite to elders and not, even if I have a different opinion, maybe I express it very gently or not at all.
Yeah.
So when Dheeraj came into our house, it was like, you know how he is, like he can be very vocal with his opinions. But now he changed, especially in my house. He, like, he keeps his opinions to himself, and Maybe we discuss in private, but not in front of our elders, and never he takes up arguments.
Ravi Garu is writing assertive girls were called tomboys. Even now, I am a tomboy. And that way, if you look at it, I have been always into that category. However, I don't see myself a lot like that because I really don't confine myself into one category. We let people call what they want to call. But I guess being assertive is good for women.
The generation
Yeah, it should
gap
be
is coming.
encouraged right from the childhood.
Yeah,
You
yes.
should look at the generation gap.
ఏంటండి
Generation gap చూసుకోవాలండి మీరు.
చూసుకొని ఏం
Equals, so
చేయమంటారు?
you can talk anything, but not to
శ్రీరామ్
the
గారు
elder.
చూసుకొని ఏం చేయమంటారో చెప్పండి.
వాళ్ళు చెప్పినట్టు మనం వినేస్తే they'll be very happy.
అల్టిమేట్ గా అదే అవుతుంది. See whether
ఫైటింగ్ చేస్తే ఏంటవుతుంది ఏమవుతుంది.
fighting, that's what I'm saying. The very word you're using is not the right connotation in which we want to get there. See, any difference of opinion is a debate, or a difference of opinion can be seen.
పాడాలా అనుకుంటే బానే ఉంటుంది.
Luckily, I'll tell you what, my father, who's definitely a person who has been elder to most of the persons who are my friends' fathers, because I have an elderly parents. So he has been very accommodative. And whenever he saw anything that was coming out like this from me, he would always say that I understand your emotion, but you can be more graceful to people. That is a very valid point. I always agreed with him. Even you can always be graceful. When you want to convey something, you don't have to fight or shout or do things like that. You can be emotive. You can emote. Because you are a human being, you can emote. There is a difference. You want to emote, then it is good and well and good. But when it's going into negative things, then one has to have a tab. I agree. This unfortunately is not much told to boys, no? That is another problem. What about the same generation gap, sir? Is it valid to them also?
It is valid to everyone.
I don't know.
I think it is told to boys, but
yeah, it is told to boys, but they hardly care.
But they validate it. They validate it with like, see how he is talking, he's learning, he will be a lawyer or something like that.
He's going to be street smart. He's very lucky. He's do this, that, and all those things. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Anyway, I think we are taking this to another level. Thank you so much, Keerthy. It was a wonderful review from you, and we all enjoyed it thoroughly. Especially with the 3 parts that you came up with and the way you presented. We loved it. So
thank you. I think Sumitra, she's
yeah, Sumitra is here. Yes, Sumitra.
Actually, Michelle Obama, she came to India also, right? That is before publishing this book or after publishing this book? Do you have any idea about that?
I'm not sure. She published this book in 2018, so maybe probably before that, because then she was the first lady, so she would have visited.
Did she mention anything about Indian culture or anything in the book?
Nothing significantly, I guess. But in Mr. Obama's book, he mentioned Mr. Manmohan Singh, and as part of his political discussions and everything, he mentioned that Mr. Manmohan Singh is a very knowledgeable person in India. Although he is leading India is mired in poverty and red tape. He mentioned that, and I felt really bad reading that line.
Sumitra ji, when was I'm not sure when Michelle Obama has visited India. You have any idea which year she did?
I think in 2015 or something.
Okay.
I have to search, I have to dig into it, but I have seen some interviews with Aishwarya Rai and all. Okay. So that time when she came to India, I think she was even wearing saris and all. So Aishwarya Rai helped her to wear sari and all. So
2010 is what Navnath ji says was her visit to India.
I'm curious. When she was saying that Kenya, she didn't feel like Kenya is her home like that. So I was curious, just like was she mentioned anything about it here?
Sure, very valid question. Thank you so much, Sumitra ji. So with that, we come to the end of the first review. Navnath ji, if you can just open your mic and say something, it will be nice. If you can.
Hello all.
Hi.
Today I'm using mobile, therefore I'm not able to connect.
No problem.
Okay. So I remember she visited the University of Mumbai library. I think it was my graduation days in 2010. And I remember there was a strict security was there, and they have very Z plus security in the Mumbai University Library. So I remember that part, and that's what I remember when that Michelle Obama visited Mumbai.
Thank you, Navneet.
An excellent review, Keerthy Garu. Really nice, and I think I'll add this book in my reading list.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
This
Sure.
book is packed with a lot of, so much stuff that I feel like I didn't do it justice, but please
sure.
go ahead and read it. Yeah, that
I
I
think,
recommend.
Reviews అలాగే ఉంటే బాగుంటాయి.
Reviews are good and like this. We understand, you know.
Hey, you
Yeah.
must stimulate the other people to read.
Yeah,
Story
exactly.
అంతా చెప్పేస్తే మేము చదువుతాం.
Yeah.
Your job is done perfectly well in terms of, inspiring others to read the book. So no.
Thank you. Thanks so
Yeah,
much.
yeah. Thank